It is their turn to dazzle, but so far, both rosters have only dazzled enough one time in the season to be able to get a win. And they really need to find this second win at this point, as both these guys are in contention for that bottom spot. Reminder now that we are in a 10-season or a 10-team season where there are 10 teams in league play, that 10th team does get auto-relegated. So every team looking to place at least 9th. Hashtag not last has never meant more, Achieves.
That is absolutely true. Hashtag not last has never meant more, and unfortunately TSM are sitting at the bottom in terms of goals per game. 1.07. You have got to be kidding me. Barely over 1 goal a game with people who have been in this league for how long?
Yeah.
Endpoint is
agree.
brand new and they're 1.39. Not much better, but it's like, dude. So
I mean, is this like, are they all washed? Is that the situation here? Is it like, I don't know. Like, I want to believe in all of these players, and they all. I agree with exactly what Shogun says, that every single one of them has had a moment this season where they have popped off, and it's been wonderful to watch. We've been like, they're back, folks. It's gonna be great. And then like the next game, if it's gone, and they haven't done it all at the same time, and I don't know what it's gonna take to make that happen.
Yeah, it's a great question because TSM played 2 basically stalemates yesterday with a lot of 1-goal games versus Mouse and Singularity. So I'm not expecting anything different. I expect Endpoint to hold the majority of the pressure, and we'll see if they've got the ability to break them down. I think their best hope is going to be Virtuoso to try and make a big play happen, and hope Nachito and Relating Wave can clean up the mess that ensues. But I just don't have a lot of faith in the TSM offense having enough to really beat Endpoint, regardless of the fact that one team's 1-5 and one's 1-4. I think Endpoint is just going to overall win out due to pressure.
Well, let's find out as we get game number 1 started. Endpoint in the blue, TSM in the orange, and Endpoint starts on offense. A shot from Relating Wave to the back post. How about it? What a way to start.
They freeze Remco here in the corner. He tips it across, and Virtuoso goes for the demo. And Metsonaris is expecting Remco to continue that play across the goal. And unfortunately, getting right in the face of him is Endpoint, and he can't make the continuation and Wave with a great float to the back post.
We saw Relating Wave a few weeks back have a incredible Game 1 performance. We'll see if he can replicate it here. He's that first goal early in game number 1. It's notched down to the corner. Remco. Out to his teammate Magnus. Relating Wave waits out 1 and now goes for the solo play, but gets the ball taken away from him. Metsonaris will play to the corner, tries to catch the defense, turning around. Virtuoso is able to control this one into the midfield. Can he find the next touch over the top of 2? Magnus makes the save, and there's no immediate follow-up, but the pinch out to Relating Wave sets it up. Is Virtuoso anywhere to be seen as he fell back? Now, back over the top. Remco with a miss. Virtuoso extends it to the corner. Now Nachito moves out of the way. Relating Wave past 1. Relating Wave coming down off that ceiling, keeps it in the midfield. A demolition on the Remco, but not before he touched it off to the edge, and Magnus was able to pick it up. The first minute now gone, approaching 3:40 here on the clock. Still just the 1 goal from Endpoint.
Just the 1 goal, but currently that's been enough versus a team like TSM. And to be fair, you know, while I do rag on, you know, TSM's 1.07 goals per game, right? They have had some phenomenal dribbles and big individual effort plays. It's just, I feel like across the board as a team, that's where they're struggling to really gel. And here's a great chance to catch Endpoint on the counterattack. But Remco got a little too much of it and just dumped it a little too far.
Magnus was able to touch it in the midfield and slow the pace down. Stall things out for just a moment, but now Endpoint advancing on offense again. Magnus plays it to the corner. Now lofted. Here comes Relating Wave, shot wide, a block onto this follow-up of the double tap. Virtuoso now looking to try and keep this one going, but runs into Remco, and Magnus should be able to clean this one up. Nachito in the corner just bounced it right off of his bumper. Virtuoso now, another play Metzenaris and Remco able to deflect it and get it back to midfield. Remco is using all of his boost just to try and hold on to ball control by himself, and just runs into a single player and then is out of the play. Now Virtuoso through the air, looking up against Magnus. He sends it high, and a follow-up. 2 players up for it.
Ooh,
TSM with an empty backfield to shoot at. Can they get there in time? Magnus, the pass up to Metzenaris. Does he put it on target? The pass in from Remco. Oh my goodness. Metzenaris gave it to Remco, and the shot was wide. They could have caught Endpoint with their pants down, but instead, they just walked right on past the room.
They could have, but unfortunately, I think Remco actually wasn't going to be able to score that ball either way. The only place it goes in is that lower right-hand corner. And they actually had that one covered, so it was that touch when they initially could have caught Endpoint on the transition with a wide-open goal. That ball kicked out to the side wall, and it delayed it just enough to let Endpoint make it back in time, but tough break for TSM.
Virtuoso coming in for a shot. Notchtown Relating Wave tried to set it up. Relating Wave onto the backboard. Remco with a catch. Notchtown will stop it. He's got Virtuoso airborne as well. And I like how aggressive Endpoint's being, seeing the ball lobbed and immediately taking flight, even if it's not the best challenge or the best read. So just being confident in their abilities like that. Notchtown up so high. Now looking for the pass. Virtuoso goes for it. 2 players commit on defense, and the net's open, but shot wide by Relating Wave. And we'll come into the final minute. Still just that first opening goal for Endpoint, an attempt for TSM. It's not going to happen. Remco back around, over to Magnus, back into Remco, doesn't make contact. Relating Wave will stop the third man. A miss from 1, Notchtown in the corner, stops 2. A miss from Virtuoso, but off of Relating Wave, it goes back in front of the box. Virtuoso now with the extension. Relating Wave possibly in a position to clean this up. Look for goalies, didn't find anything. Virtuoso demolished before he could put on a second goal. 30 seconds left. Magnus traps it against his own crossbar, and Metzenaris will find the clear. 26 seconds now. And TSM still needing to find this tying goal. They can play into 0-second time, but you don't want to have to as they get it past 1. Relating Wave will send it all the way back down. 14 seconds left. Virtuoso hold on to control. Up against Magnus.
Nice pump.
Notchtown keeps this pressure on. A long clear to Relating Wave. He sends it to the far side. It's looking all but over here as Relating Wave keeps this one dangerous. Coming back down, it will touch. 1-0 from Endpoint. They scored in the first 12 seconds, I think, and then nothing for the rest of the game.
Yeah, they scored 6 seconds with that kickoff goal and then kept the pressure the rest of the game. 3 shots for TSM, all of them. One of them was the quick counterattack where the ball delayed just enough in the midfield. The other one right at the end where they had that pass across Magnus into the middle from Remco, and he just got a little bit too far inside the ball and kicked it wide. And here's that goal. It's Virtuoso freezing Remco, so he stops the defense from TSM, understanding exactly which way the play is going. Like, you'll see Remco right here. He just can't follow up that ball, and Metza turns out thinking, oh, well, now I got to make a save, and a perfect float from Relating Wave. And that's all it took. And that game literally played out exactly as I thought it would. You actually touched on it a little bit in the middle of that game, Wave. You were liking the fact that Team Endpoint just willing to go so hard for some of those challenges from far away and just get in the face of TSM. And yeah, that's the reason they're going to win this series, because they'll go for the challenge, but the important thing is that they touch the ball. And if they miss, they're going to be in trouble, but they haven't missed yet. And TSM just doesn't have the offensive power at all this season to make anything happen if they do miss. So I'm not worried about it. I mean, people say 5 on the desk. I'll bite on a 3-0 for Endpoint. That's how little faith I have in TSM getting the job done.
Do you give Shogun his 3-0 with 3 goals? The 3-1-0 games?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
this is
okay.
gonna start off the same way.
Man, we have only seen goals scored in the first 7 seconds so far this series. As this is a just bona fide kickoff goal.
Nobody even went. Nobody even went from TSM.
I don't know what's happening. Seems good. It'll be all right. Remco now, an attempt. And if the thing about the 1-goal games achieves is that means we're done seeing anything happen for the next 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So we'll see what happens. Can TSM bring it back? Because they have given up a goal in the first 10 seconds of both games 1 and 2. And for game number 1, that was all that mattered. Can they find a way back into this? Relating wave to pick this up. Virtuoso lofted it. Nachitao will find the clear. Virtuoso and the extension. And the counter from Remco. Now Nachitao. Long boomer again. Metznaris out to Remco on the far wall. A nice control. He's got Magnus in the midfield if he can find a way to get it to him, but no, just puts it straight on target. The ball will die in front of the box. Virtuoso gets bumped. Relating wave just sits there and blocks the shot. Metznaris has to push it into the defender. Now Magnus looking for the ceiling play. Past one. Can he find a second touch? No, and Virtuoso will send it off to the edge. Now Nachitao up against Metznaris. Back down. Virtuoso looks for a clear. Magnus sends it into Remco. Shot on goal, and Relating wave makes the block. The best offensive moment we've seen from TSM this series, and the defense holds.
It's a tight one, a tough play to make on defense, and the triple commit there from Endpoint. They're going to have to run. Remco floats into the middle, and Magnus taken away by Virtuoso. A couple of big stops from Endpoint diving back out of the midfield.
Virtuoso on the rotation back, picks up boost, but gets demolished by Magnus as he rotates out. Nachitao over the edge. Relating wave to the corner. Magnus lofts, but then is demolished. Here comes Nachitao up against Metznaris. Neither player making really solid contact here. Remco's shot, I think good, but Virtuoso will get in the way. Now Relating wave waits for that to come back down, bumps into his teammate, and now goes for the solo carry. Remco with the stretch. Virtuoso should have this one for free. Gets it off the edge, but Magnus now has it. Remco looks for the goalies, doesn't find him, and Relating wave will get the clear. Back pass from Metznaris. Virtuoso pass two, traps it against the wall. Magnus plays it to the corner. I think the ball is spending more time in these corners than anywhere else in the field right now.
Yeah, it's definitely been a corner-centric game, and that's a nice demo in the midfield. But again, you see Endpoint able to rotate back out of the midfield just faster than TSM can start the counterattack. But to TSM's credit, they are hanging on to that ball and starting to generate their own pressure. They are at least out-shooting Endpoint here. Oh, what?
Well, there goes the 1-0 games. On, I think this is just pretty much just a bona fide own goal. I think he was looking for a back pass to nobody. And Endpoint will take a free one.
You'll take that. I mean, Magnus, I think the idea is take that ball straight across and go to the other end of the pitch, but it just came a second late, and he ends up putting it right in his own net.
Relating wave out to Virtuoso. They'll find a third goal. This one earned. A nice outfield pass quickly, just catching TSM a little bit slow.
Yeah, Remco expecting Metza to have a ball into the middle. Magnus trying to play that near post defense and maybe avoid a bump because he kind of tucked himself behind that goal post, but ends up just being subject to a brutal redirect into the back post, unsavable.
I do feel like TSM, we discussed that like the advantage that Endpoint has is just the out aggression, being willing to go for things, being willing to challenge things, and maybe the answer for TSM is a bit more of, well, Metznaris finds a way to put it in. You know, any way you find out a way to score. I mean, it wasn't exactly the prettiest shot, but it works here for Metznaris. He got one and then two touches to push this in.
Yeah, Relating wave was definitely in a bad spot. He had two people on TSM coming out of the goal behind him as he has to prepare for a shot to come his way. If TSM managed to miss that shot, you can just relegate him now.
Just try to move up. Metznaris to Magnus. Looking for goal number 2. Could really bring them back into this game. Relating wave back down in the edge. Virtuoso now relating wave. Virtuoso's up in front of him. Magnus gets airborne first. Plays it to the corner. Relating wave on the ground. Now looking for the carry up against Magnus. Can he find the flip reset? Actually does, I believe. And relating wave kind of jackhammer pogo sticks this off and into the corner.
Let's find an answer here. Did he get it? Oh, he definitely did.
He flipped that shot. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That was sick. You definitely don't see one like that every day. That's a fun one.
Oh, yeah, like a tornado goal? I don't know what you call that. We don't really need to name it, seeing as I don't think it'll happen ever again, but my goodness.
I like the pogo stick. That was good.
Bounces it off. 50 seconds left, and this game definitely now out of reach for TSM. But I was talking with Leaf and Gibbs yesterday about what we thought was going to happen today, and one of the things that Leaf said about a team that's coming up later, Mousesports, is he's like, this is like a monkey mode team. They're just like, just go, 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 just be aggressive. We'll just hit the ball. We'll figure out what happens afterwards. And Endpoint seems like a slightly more refined but less mechanical, raw, skilled version of that. And the thing about that mentality is it's not that hard to just adopt or just to try. Like, to perfect, yes, definitely difficult, but to just do isn't that difficult. I feel like TSM could try it. Just go for things. Just see what happens, you know? You're Metzenaris and Magnus. You're Remco. You know, this, like, just play. Just ball chase a little bit more and just see what happens at this point, because the defensive kind of calculated positioning is not working for them as Endpoint takes game 2.
Well, what's funny is you say that, and you're absolutely right. Like, you've seen it before, like, from TSM in this season. Like, when they come out there, like, they're just upset and tired of losing. Their team that's fast. They're in your face. I believe it was it literally yesterday, or was it the week before yesterday? I don't even remember. But it's like, I remember watching a couple TSM games, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they came out here to play Rocket League today. And unfortunately, it's still not enough. They just don't get anything done, and it's like, it sucks to watch, because it's 3 great players in this game, and Team Endpoint are scoring goals like that, and if you're the guy on the goal line, you're like, what in the world even was that?
Yeah, for sure. No, everybody, for anyone in chat that doesn't understand what happened, there's like as Relating Wave is coming down, he manages to land all 4 wheels on the ball, which resets his ability to dodge, to flip. And as he lands, the ball is kind of leaned up against his wheels, and then he flips sideways, twisting his car into it, and that's what shoots the ball into the net. Really crazy way to shoot a goal. I don't think I've ever seen one like it in RLCS. So I definitely I think the play of the day so far. We had some pretty crazy plays in series number 1, but Endpoint now 2-0 up on the series. They win it here. We're gonna see. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Remco changes it up. No, Remco brings out the Venom. An OG car. Shout out to Fusho Kid, the only player I know who still maintains this car. But I love the mentality. It's something's not working. We got to change it up. Oh my goodness! Relating Wave hit another banger of a shot. What are you talking about?
Get another early goal. It rolls around the wall. Everyone forced off the goal line. Magnus and Metza caught too far forward, and Relating Wave. That's just a beautiful read and understanding of how that ball is coming around that corner. Stay away from it and let it come to him.
My goodness. Relating Wave having a wonderful series, as Endpoint right now up 2 games and now up in the 3rd. I've only had, I believe, 3 sweeps in Europe so far this season. It's been a very even season. But right now, Endpoint trying to make a case to do it to TSM. It's Magnus to the corner, Virtuoso. We'll look to keep it there.
And you know, to go back to, what we were talking about with the Venom, I actually really like the car. The model itself, if you notice those cutouts on the front by the nose, it's actually a great indicator of where you can cut the ball to get it on top of the car. It's pretty great for that.
It doesn't. I mean, it's my favorite thing about the car is the super open wheel design. It's like if you get some cool looking wheels, you got a great. It's a wonderful car to show them off. Cars like the Fennec, it's like they cover up most of them. But here comes TSM looking for that first goal. Struggling to get out of their own half right now. Honestly, kind of getting beaten a lot of places as Metzenar's up. He'll see if he can stretch this to Magnus, but Magnus used a lot of boost just to get that first save, and he's going to be completely out. So Nachitel in net should have this one for free. Just gets the banger clear to the corner, and Remco with a miss. Nachitel with an extension. Is that going to drop in? It is 2-0 now for Endpoint.
Yeah, you said it. Remco with a misread. Metza sitting behind him, expecting him to get the touch, and realizes after Remco missed, he tries to close the gap to go and pick up the slack, but it's already too late. They've already got the read on the shot, and he is truly beat to that ball. And as long as it's on target, it's going in.
There's another shot. Is this one the kickoff going to go in? Virtuoso will make sure it does. 3-0's Endpoint looking to sweep TSM and run away with the series.
Brutal. A pinch challenge. Mets are trying to rotate back and get behind the ball. It basically bounces into him. It doesn't matter if anyone is there from Endpoint or not. He's going to own goal that ball. And TSM, that's what, four kickoff goals against them now? Five kickoff goals against them now?
Let's make it 5. Just continue to rack them up. As I don't know if this is just TSM being broken or Endpoint continuing to find new ways around, but a great setup to the corner and then immediately challenges the goalie. Magnus not ready to get up and get the stop. And this one is just a blowout at this point. They're currently up 9-1 on TSM. TSM definitely needing to go back to the drawing board over the course of this week and maybe the rest of the season to genuinely rebuild themselves from the ground up, because right now it's not working as a 5th goal goes in.
Brutal. I mean, Metsa gets one, Virtuoso's right behind him, Remco, awkward ball, and Magnus has to dodge the demo first. So he's late getting up to that, and even still, Virtuoso's got the speed coming into the goal, so he's gonna win the physics battle just because he's got, you know, vector advantage basically, and he just drills it through him.
There's through one. 3 players in enemy territory. The pass there, the shot just a bit wide. Metznaris will be able to make a save. Keep it from being a 6-0 game. You know, Chiefs, it's been a long time since we've had a Brazil in the RLCS. Yeah. I wouldn't mind. I feel like it'd be a great way for Endpoint to make a statement here.
Well, here's the question. Do you think TSM is going to get to play offense?
No, the question is Endpoint BM enough to own goal once they get to 7? I don't think so. It would be disrespectful for sure, but
you know
stylish.
why? The reason I don't think they're BM enough is because when you're sitting at 1-4 and you're about to be 2-4 in the season, you're gonna need all the goal differential you can get for the tiebreakers. So you're not gonna give them.
That's true. That's true. Well, and yeah, luckily for them, the sweep is actually so good because of those. The first tiebreaker,
game differential.
First tiebreaker being game differential. Absolutely, this is a wonderful, literally the best result Endpoint could have hoped for. As at this point, with 1:45 left to go. Yeah, with there being 1:40 left on the clock, you might be sitting at home saying, no, there's still time left. Like, no, down by 5 goals, I am willing to call this series already and say there is no way the TSM comes back into this.
This one's toast.
Despite their best efforts. If there was ever a time to practice a new style, though, this is definitely the time for TSM.
And you know, you can actually look at, you know, the remaining schedule for Endpoint and maybe start to get a little bit of speculation going, because they're going to get the 3-0 here versus TSM. They're going to play Dignitas next week, probably a loss, but they also get to play Singularity. That's a winnable game. And they close out the season against Mouse. And if Mouse continues this sort of up and down, we play up, we play down, it's very possible that if Endpoint has a great series like today, they can also knock off Mouse. There's a very real chance they end up near 500.
Yep, they'll put them at 4-5 on the season, and that's a possibility of being a playoff level team. So we'll see how things evolve for Endpoint, who definitely started off the season a bit rough, but they started off playing against Barcelona, Vitality, Reciprocity, and Veloce, all teams you kind of expect them to lose those games. And the one win they have right now is one of the only other sweeps so far in the season. Actually, of the 3 sweeps that have happened, they will have been a part of 3 of them after this end. There will be 4 sweeps in Europe. They will have swept twice and been swept once. So Endpoint, definitely a hot or cold team. With the final 10 seconds wrapping down, the series has been over for a while. But congratulations, Endpoint, putting up some effort. And hey, thank you so much, Remco, for letting me see a Venom on the RLCS. It's been a while. So they'll put this into the ground, and there it goes. Endpoint, quick work, as they put up 10 goals to just the 1 of TSM.